Good morning. So it is 5 to 9, and well, the evil day has arrived and it has passed. And I am feeling much better today now that the whole situation is over. Even though some, of the worst case scenarios did take place, it was not all of them. I feel like that would be very overwhelming. But as things happen, it's just something I'm trying to forget, putting it behind me. I am, trying to think about other things. It has been kind of like a struggle though, because it was kind of like maybe thinking I could, write something, and well, it hasn't really happened. In my head, it keeps reverting back to like the bad things, even though right now I'm pretty relieved that, as I said, it already passed. So all the tension, all the anxiety, all the fear, all the dread, all the dejectedness. Well, the dejectedness is still here, and I'm still kind of like dealing with it. But the other things, they're kind of gone. I ended up having to take some medication, Clozapine, before I went to bed. I took actually, two, and I may or may not have taken melatonin at some point in the middle of the night when I woke up, and yeah, I woke up and uh, I wasn't actually struggling to go to bed. It's just that I had to go to the bathroom, but like my dad interpreted that as like me struggling. So they were going to give me melatonin, but now I don't remember if I took it or not. So I think I might have taken it because yeah, I mean like after that whole situation, I said I went to bed, and then I slept up to the time in the morning when I woke up, which it's been kind of like early this past few weeks, actually like it's been over a month, and but I'm rested. As long as you're rested, it's okay for you to like wake up, because that's the thing. Before I was sleeping a lot because my body needed all that sleep, and without it I wasn't functioning properly. So there's that. But right now, all things considered, like I'm getting, rest. Some days during the middle of the day, I actually feel a little tired, but I struggle to go to bed. I think in this couple of this month and a half that this has been the case, because it was around like the 20th of January that I started taking vacation. I slept one day, and I probably should sleep more, because sometimes I find myself in this states of mind where I can't really do anything. I'm kind of stuck, and sleep would be great. Like if I cannot really do anything, I might as well sleep. But I haven't really tried that often. But yeah, like that being said, back to the evil day. Well, not the evil day, the aftermath. I'm feeling pretty. It's kind of like normal right now, and besides, like my head has reverted back to the same old fantasies, the same old, dreams and all of that. Which is not ideal. Part of me was kind of hoping that yesterday would kind of like put an end to that, but that hasn't really been the case. It just led to like a certain level of animosity with my own, with some elements in my head, and certain persons, and like I feel like you can feel whatever the fuck you do, but like as long as that doesn't change the way you treat people, because like that is your shit. It's not like theirs to deal with. And that's usually how I live my life. Like I allow myself to feel things, which is something that like 8 years ago I didn't do. I was very much like, I'm not gonna feel any negative feelings towards anyone, because that means that they affect me, or that at the very least like I'm jealous, and like I could not really be jealous because my life was great and it was going to go even greater. In the future I had a great, brilliant future ahead of me, so I couldn't really allow those emotions to take over, and that led to a lot of suppression and repression, and which is something that from like half a decade to now I've started to kind of like accept those feelings, which like leads to some very nasty ones, like some very negative emotions and some very negative tendencies. But as I said, I don't let it kind of like change the way I treat people, particularly because like a lot of like this, a lot of like these individuals, they're kind of hypothetical, or they're like out of my reach. Either because like I've never had I could never had the ability to reach them, or because I removed myself from the situation and I don't want to go back because that situation was bad for my head and for my quality of life. So I'm just here. But yeah. So but even like the things that are like kind of like personal one-on-one contacts that I have, I kind of I make sure that it doesn't really interfere with uh, the way I treat people, as I said. Although like sometimes you need to kind of like let out, to blow some steam and what have you. Although I don't always know how to do it in a healthy manner, it's a lot of times I kind of like ended up internalizing some things and projecting internally, instead of like externally, or I deal with the things in the hypothetical situation in my head, which is not ideal because it doesn't really solve any of the issues. You're still stuck there. But it's like sometimes it is the best that you can do. Sometimes that is all you can do. And so, just take the opportunities and what have you. But yeah, all things considered, I am feeling good. I'm surprised. I thought that today I would wake up feeling very dejected, and I am in a certain in a certain way. I'm even like upstairs because I was like I gotta get my dejected as somewhere else, so I can kind of talk freely. Because when I'm in my room, I usually talk a little lower because I can be heard downstairs by the neighbors, and that is not really what I want. This is like I like my private moment I'm putting out there and to the general public, but realistically, it's only going to get like a couple of views, so it feels very private to me. And also at the same time, like because I'm putting out there, it feels like there is a certain risk. There is a certain there is the possibility of like things being engaged with, which is why like it is somewhat new because I've been doing this, with these videos starting in 2016. I was currently 2025, so it's literally 9 years now, and I've done things differently. I've done had many different MOs throughout like the years, but I used to be way more vague, way vaguer. About the things happening in my head. I still am vague in a lot of points, and it's intentional. It's just that there's some things I don't feel comfortable talking about. And some things is because like some of them they're personal. Some of them is just that it's kind of embarrassing. Like acknowledging where my head is at. So I prefer to just like just say it. We can give a general overview of the situation and just let my head do its thing. Alone. But all things considered, okay, I'm wearing like this side again. Everybody really liked that, including me. But I'm with a different shirt. That one is being washed right now. I'm doing laundry right now, so I'm like waiting for things to be clean. We're gonna go to like 11:30 is the beginning of the celebration of one of our friends' birthday, and we're gonna take some meat with us, something to drink, and we're gonna have a jolly old time. I'm hoping. I think I really need it. I think that's the reason why my head is kind of okay, because I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be here having to deal with the aftermath, because sometimes when you stay home, it's kind of hard for you to escape your own thoughts. So like as things are going to be, I'm gonna be somewhere else, interacting with people, eating good food, and just generally ignoring all the I was gonna say disgrace, but like that's really heavy. All the likable, unwanted circumstances, with my life. I don't know. Also, like I mentioned yesterday, when it was in the middle of the night. Oh yeah, when I woke up, I ended up going to the bathroom. Then I recorded like that video, the video before this one on the channel, and because I had thoughts, by that time it was already Monday. It was the very beginning of Monday, but it was already, it was over, so I could kind of like reflect upon things. And honestly, everything I said, I don't remember everything because I was kind of really tired. So it's kind of like when you too much when you're a little drunk, you don't really remember certain things, and that is kind of like where I was at. And the thing is that well, I do remember. I actually do agree. I mentioned the thing of like striking a deal with the devil. Then like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, why can't I be a believer? Why must I not believe in things? Because that would be so good. You know, like for me, like that would be kind of like a solution of sorts, as crazy as it sounds. Because I don't really know. I mentioned this the other day. Like I need something new to happen, and I need it to be something new because everything else that is kind of like possible and plausible, I've already invested my time and effort and energy into. So it has to be something I can think of, you know, something I haven't, not that I can't think of, but I haven't thought of. And I don't really know what that is. And the thing is that there are so many possibilities because while I've tried a lot of things, like I haven't scratched the surface of possibilities. You know, I scratched the surface of, you know, the things that make sense for me, for, you know, my life, the context in which I am inserted in and all of that. But you know, like there's just so many other paths that I could take, and looking from a distance as I am right now, like a lot of them, they feel like, yeah, that is a possibility, but they don't, doesn't feel like, they don't feel like anything concrete, anything, you know, that could actually happen. So you know, I kind of like, I need an idea. You know, when I say I need something to happen, it doesn't have to be like something external happening. It can be just my head gravitating towards like an idea, something new, something fresh, something that would make everything else make sense. Because as of right now, it's kind of hard. Because also like what I've come to realize is that you need multiple things that make sense in your life. Because for example, I've had writing for the longest time, which is something that made sense. But then, you know, recently I have been struggling with writing, so it no longer is the thing that is driving, you know, me towards, you know, the future. It is something that like I would love to get back to because it would be, you know, fun to do. It will be good for my head. It will be good for my, you know, like my all like the bad parts of my head right now. Like if I could get back to writing, like it would help with that. You know, all the negativity, all the sensitivity, all the vulnerability, all of that. But I don't know if that doesn't seem to be kind of like likely to happen anytime soon. At least I don't know how to make it happen. But for the longest time, like writing was that thing for me. It was that it thing. You know, it was the it girl of my eyes. It was the thing that kind of like got me motivated and got me to want to, you know, live to see another day, and got me to feel fulfilled and contented with like my life, which is something I've been struggling with a lot lately. Like I'm not contented with my life. I feel there's just like so many different types of like negative emotions that I feel. I feel like it isn't enough, which is something I already mentioned in the past, and I don't really know how to make it enough because everything that I can think of that I could do would not make it enough. It would still be would still fall short, and that is kind of like a problem that, you know, it needs to be kind of like addressed. But I don't really know how to address it because the only solutions I get are not really solutions, are fantasies, and like those are not, you know, that's not the way. uh I don't know, it's been a weird couple of months. You know, like I'm no longer resorting to okay, my dad's here. You know, food to, you know, feel better. So I kind of like, I have less things.